We came here as interim pastors in 1998, and there was a group of people, a very small group, but it was a group of people who really loved the Lord. And I told my wife, I said, honey, these people deserve a good church. Let's see what we can do. And we began to start with what we had. And God just started working miracles. He sent us MAPS teams. He sent us workers from all across America. One day I was out here and a guy started backing his big RV into the space we had made out here. I said, I wasn't expecting you. He goes, no, I just came out here. I'm here to do your air conditioning. He drove all the way from Minnesota out here knowing that God had a plan for him, and he was here, and it was perfect timing.
Every step of the way, every time we turned around, God was there. And it was just so wonderful to see miracles that God would do.
I got a call from Idaho. A guy who's an electrician who was here already once before said, I have 2 weeks and I'd like to come down and get the sound room wired. So December 6th, he finished the sound room, and I said, yeah, but I have no idea how long it'll be before we get the equipment. December 17th, our name was drawn from K Dove, and they gave us a $10,000 sound system free. There are some people who have really been a blessing to us. Alan D. came here and lived on our grounds for over 3.5 years. Then Pastor Gravel from Lompoc Assembly of God, he sent us over $5,000. Riverdale First Assembly, they sent over a team and they did all the sheetrock in our sanctuary ceiling. They sent over a team and did a redash color coat for our outside of our building. Bakersfield First Assembly of God sent up a team of workers with their MAPS group. And then before long, they just started bringing everybody. People have come from all over the place.
I'm an electrician by trade, and so we were able to help them with their electrical work. This was our last project, working with MAPS.
When we got ready to retire, this was the place that we said we wanted to be.
We liked the church very much, and the Lord provided a way for us to move here, and so we just moved in with them. And this church has a real spiritual move, and we appreciate that because in our age, we need a good home.
This church means so much because I believe that this church is put here by God, and I believe that the work that's been here for 80 years, that God has ordained this for California, and I believe that this Assemblies of God is going to be pivotal in the revival that God sends to California. And I know God's going to use many churches and do many things, but I believe that there's something particular about this church and its location that God is going to use this as basically a lighthouse for the gospel in California.
What has caused this church to prosper when others are just getting by? I like to say it is our pastor. I like to think that it's because of our great leadership. I really think that the reason this church is doing so well is the people of this church took it in their hearts to seek God first. And it's sensed in our community.
My husband has said many times that he doesn't want to just pastor this church, he wants to pastor this community.
I've been in this church for over 55 years. We've got a lot of new people coming in, and for that we thank God, because so many of our older people is passing on. So it's time for the young ones to start coming in and filling the benches.
When you're in a church that you know you're supposed to be in with the guidance of a pastor who passionately loves the Lord, you can't do anything but grow. I've learned about trust, and I've learned about forgiveness. I feel like I'm finally, after all these years, at a place where I can seriously call myself a mature Christian. And it's not only Pastor Rippey, it's also his wife. I've never been around a woman that I thought was a perfect example of a Christian woman, and I love her so much.
Right when my kids and I and my mom walked in the door, we just knew that we were home, and this is where the Lord wanted us to be. I've just learned about just complete surrender in Jesus and just giving Him every area of my life. And through that also, He has also brought my husband, we were separated and lived in another town even, and he has been brought to the Lord through this church also. And he's never even attended here yet.
And so it's exciting, not just that God has helped us to remodel the church, but to remodel people.